Alrighty, let's move on to White Sox A's. White Sox A's. Let's start with what these books are giving us here. FanDuel, DraftKings. White Sox, the best line you can get is at BetMGM at -120. And then there's a bunch of +110s for the A's. Let's take a look at the total here. And the best 7.5. The least juice on the over is at Fox Bet. And the least juice on the under is a -102 at Resorts and Bet America. Here we go. White Sox A's, 72 Fahrenheit clear, 7 miles per hour out to right center. These White Sox 17-13 on the road. The A's 22-10 at home. Both teams were rolling towards a possible pennant. Both teams were rolling and looking very strong.
Yeah, until the White Sox ran into somebody.
Cleveland Indians. Is that somebody? And
Cubbies.
The A's, a little different. 28-15 before losing Matt Chapman. And then they signed Jake Lamb. And this happens quite often when you have a superstar player go down and you get somebody who's being let go, a veteran let go by another team, starts really strong, showing that he belongs, and slowly kind of slips. He's now batting .267 in 13 games. And he started off really hot. Oakland's lost 9 of their last 17 games. Giolito versus Luzardo. Jesus Luzardo. Giolito, 4-3, 3.48 ERA, 1.04 WHIP, 72 in the third, 97 Ks, 28 walks. Luzardo, 3-2, 4.12 ERA, 1.27 WHIP, 59 innings, 59 Ks, 17 walks. It was an interesting choice for a starter. I was wondering if they would maybe set their rotation up so they'd have a righty facing the White Sox. I know that they have Maeda and Luzardo from the left side, but I was wondering if it was a possible Bassett or Fires from the right side because the White Sox are hitting .285, .887 OPS against lefties. The A's don't hit righties hard, .227, .728 OPS. This A's bullpen, very good, holding opponents to a .208 average, 23 home runs allowed, 1.13 WHIP, 2.72 ERA. White Sox bullpen, very good in its own right. .228 average against, 28 home runs, 3.76 ERA, 1.25 WHIP. Luzardo has pitched well at home this season. The decision was made to start him after that 3-inning appearance against the Rays. He shut out 3 of his past 6 opponents at home. So the Rangers and the Diamondbacks, they don't hit lefties, but the Giants do hit lefties. Giants did them pretty well. So that's 17 and a third shutout innings in 3 of his 6 home opponents, 6 home games. Oakland, 5-game postseason losing streak. Giolito's last 3 starts, he hasn't looked very good. 8 runs in 17 2/3. He's 1-1 with a 4.15 ERA in 2 career starts against the A's. And we don't know if Eloy Jimenez is going to be in the lineup. He may DH. He missed the last 3 regular season games with a sprained right foot. And White Sox A's, take it away.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the breakdown of this game. And first of all, the White Sox have a better starting pitcher coming into this game on the year. Giolito, 3.48 ERA with a 3.19 FIP, 3.35 xFIP, and a 3.51 SIERA. So all of his peripheral ERA numbers align with his actual ERA. And then you got Luzardo, who's been – all his numbers are pretty average. I mean, his line just runs right around 4 all the way down. 4.12 ERA, 4.19 FIP, 4.05 SIERA. And then when you kind of dig into it, I do think the A's got a much better bullpen. They have a top 3 bullpen in the league going right now, 2.72 ERA out of their bullpen versus a 3.76 ERA out of the White Sox bullpen. The peripheral numbers look about the same. The problem here, too, is you look at the Athletics got the 5th highest bullpen WAR, pitcher's WAR, rated by Fangraphs at 3.0. Where the White Sox are at 2.5 WAR on the year out of their bullpen, which is not bad. It's actually good for 8th in the league. But the Athletics have that advantage coming out of the bullpen. But then you also want to look at, and this is the number for this game specifically that you just kind of have to where the handicap just has to end. The White Sox have a 143 WRC plus against lefties, while the Athletics have a 93 WRC plus against lefties. Both these guys are lefties. You have the better lefty coming out of the White Sox. And, I mean, 143 WRC plus, that's weighted runs created plus they're 43 points higher than league average in creating runs against left-handed hitters. That's what that means. That is the most significant offensive number that you can look at right now. And that's just kind of where you got to end it here. They're going up against the lefty, and they're the best team in the league against lefties. The Athletics are going up against the lefty, and they're below average against lefties. So you're getting about 130 to 135 on a first 5 here. So that's actually what I took. I took the White Sox first 5 minus 135. And I like the White Sox team total over 3.5 here. It's looking at about minus 135 as well. If you could get it up to 4, get it to about even money, that would be even better. But I like the White Sox here, especially during the first 5. Now, with the bullpen advantage the Athletics have, I want to stay away from the full game, but the White Sox definitely have the advantage on the first 5 here because they have the better starting pitcher, and they match up against lefties way better than the Athletics do.
I agree with that breakdown, although the Giolito's a righty.
Oh, he's a righty?
Yeah, so
whatever.
Giolito's a righty.
Why the hell did I get in my head today that he was a lefty?
No worries.
No, he's a righty. I'll be goddamned.
But they don't have good numbers against righties.
That's fine.
And White Sox smash lefties. There's no doubt about that. The market has moved towards the A's. Do you think that – so at Bet 365, there's been a 10-cent move towards the A's. Why do you think money's coming in on the A's?
Because I'm a dumbass, and for some reason I thought Giolito was a lefty.
No. Why do you think?
But because I believe that, the A's probably overall are the better team. Lineup wise, I mean, Chapman being out of their lineup has really screwed them. I don't know why the market might be trying to side with the A's here. I'm not looking to fade the White Sox against a lefty, and Luzardo is a lefty. But you also, I don't know, is Luzardo only going to be an opener, pitch 3-4 innings, and then they have the bullpen coming in? Because the A's do have a very good bullpen, one of the top 3 bullpens in the league.
They do. Junior Remy says, I like the A's at this price. Spenny Penny Bombs talking about the Preakness on Saturday. We have an all-day thoroughbred handicapping show on Saturday, back in action. All day Saturday with the Preakness. And what do you think about this total? This total sitting at 7.5, slightly juiced to the over.
I like the over a bit here. I think the White Sox can get a lot of runs. So that's why I kind of like the White Sox team total over as well, over 3.5. I'm not completely sold on just betting an over 7.5 here. It's just a lean, so it's not an actual official play. But my official play on this game is White Sox first 5 at minus 135. And I definitely like the idea of taking the White Sox team total over, because anytime you have a total this low and the White Sox are going up against a lefty, that's just kind of low-hanging fruit you should probably take. Overall, if you want to talk series, I like the White Sox in this series. I'm not sure how I like the White Sox going forward, but I think this could be a pretty bad matchup for the Athletics, just from a standpoint of who are the Athletics going to throw out there tomorrow. It's either going to be another lefty in Manea, or are you going to throw out Fires, who's not good? Like Fires is a righty, but he's not very good. So, I don't really like the Athletics starting pitching in this series. I just don't think that Athletics match up well against the White Sox. The Athletics would have done a lot better if they, got a different team like the Blue Jays or hell, maybe even the Yankees. I don't know. But just going up against the White Sox, this is a bad matchup for the Athletics. And I think there's a pretty good value. I think it's about minus 105 to minus 110 series price on the White Sox.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Giolito got touched a little bit.
Bassett tomorrow. That's what people are saying.
Yeah, Joy Works saying Bassett tomorrow. Yeah, Manea. I think I might have said Maeda accidentally off the top here, just because we just talked about him in the Twins game. But Manea, and Luzardo lefties, and when your best pitchers are lefties against a very, very, I would have started Bassett. I would have set up my rotation differently so that Bassett could start. If I think Giolito could get touched a little, and if Luzardo gets touched a little, what do you think about this first 5 over 4?
I kind of like that. If it's at because 4 is not a very high total. I mean, it's not 4.5, it's not 5. If you're getting about even money-ish on an over 4, I kind of like that because I do think the White Sox can get 3 runs in this first 5. So you're only asking for 2 from the Athletics against Giolito, which is doable. Giolito's a very good starting pitcher, but I mean, he's not, a lights out ace all the time. So I could see this first 5 getting over that total, or at least pushing, 2-2, 3-1. Joey thinks Oakland wins the series. I could see that. I just think this is probably the best matchup for the White Sox.
Yeah, I like the first 5 over 4 more than I like the full game over 7.5. Giolito hasn't been good. Luzardo's in a very tough spot against a tough hitting squad against lefties. Ulysses Hayes says the A's have adjusted without Chapman. They went 8-9 down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean Chapman out of that lineup was bad. Yeah, them losing Chapman was a big deal there.
This is a tough spot for these guys. Joey Work says, past Giolito, do you trust White Sox starters? Do you? And Keuchel and the rest? Do you trust these White Sox starters?
I trust Keuchel, but past Keuchel, they're all trash. But this is a 2-game series, or this is a best-of-3 series, so you only need Giolito and Keuchel to do good for you, and then you're into the next round, which they'll probably lose.
Well, I don't want to go up against Cash Action, but I just feel like this 4 is vulnerable. I'm going to take the first 5 over 4, and that is a pick'em. First 5 over 4. That is a pick'em. I've already made a bet, and it is in the final game on the card, so I'll talk about that here shortly. There you go. Official plays, we have Ant L on White Sox first 5, and I'm on the first 5 over 4. And questions coming up. Michael Irvelina is saying, Ant L, how did you finish unit-wise after the regular season?
Up 10.5 with a 3% ROI. So it was disappointing because after 3 weeks into the season, I was up like almost 20 units, and then I went way down to like only up like 6, and then I kind of bounced back in the last 2 weeks. So the baseball season is always a roller coaster like that. So about 10.5 after a 60-game season, I'll take that. And as long as my ROI remains between 2.5% and 3.5%, that's kind of where I try and keep it.